Want to know the best way to potentially make a big income online? It's by making lots of small incomes online. Hi, I'm Rachel Roffé, and I've discovered a method to create these little mini income streams that individually aren't life-changing, but when added up, they've allowed me to quit my job as a Walmart cashier and live the life of my dreams, generating a very healthy income each month, even while I sleep. Now, this amazing system has given me the kind of lifestyle that most people dream about. No bosses, no commute, no long drives, freedom to choose how my time will be spent, financial security, and complete peace of mind, even in these turbulent times. Now, I have flexibility to travel as I want, live where I want, take care of my little nephew Gabriel, who I absolutely adore. And the best part is that these mini income streams cost absolutely nothing to set up and take less than 10 minutes each. I've personally created 5,171 of them. You can potentially do this too, with no special skills or experience, without already having a product to sell, without an audience, without needing to build a website, without having to worry about driving web traffic, without having to get on the phone and sell anybody anything. In your spare time, you can do this around a full-time job. And in fact, you could potentially be up and running in as little as 2 weeks, even if you are a complete beginner and know nothing about technology. Hey, we're all super busy, but if you have a spare 30 minutes a day, a computer, and an internet connection, then watch this case study video right now. The host of this case study is another fellow online millionaire, Mark Ling. He produced this video for his subscribers, and he's kindly allowed me to share it with you also. Here I share with him the kind of niches I'm in, what kind of money can be made with this unique approach. I share my favorite sources of online traffic and lots more. Plus, make sure to register for the workshop I'm running shortly. The link to that is below this video. So without further ado, I'll transition over now to the case study recording with Mark.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Ling here, and I've got with me an amazing guest. Her name is Rachel Roffé, and she is absolutely a superstar when it comes to print on demand and selling lots and lots. I'm talking thousands of products that could range from anything from coasters that are carved out, little coasters on wood, or we're talking about like sports mugs, like silver sports mugs that have prints on them and stuff, and making an absolute killing doing this. And when you think, hey, I've heard of this before, I don't think you've heard of it done the way Rachel does it, and also to the level of success Rachel has done it. And also she has helped so many thousands of other people achieve massive success with this model as well. So without further ado, I want to welcome aboard Rachel, and we're going to grill her and try and get some of her best secrets to her success so that you can have that success also. Welcome along, Rachel.
Thank you. Thank you for all those nice things too that you said.
It's great to have you here. And I was wondering, first of all, just before we talk about like what your sources of traffic are and how you go about what you do, would you mind just quickly explaining like how you even got into this in the first place? Like what made you decide I'm just going to decide to put up a lot of products on the internet and start making all of these sales from all these mini income streams?
Sure. Yeah. So I've been an entrepreneur. Like I've loved trying different business models and things, but I remember actually before I tried this, I was doing some stuff online and I just hated it. I would tell my boyfriend at the time, I feel like a mechanical drone. A mechanical drone is so miserable. And around the same time was when a lot of people were talking about selling on Amazon, like selling regular products. And I had tried all kinds of random things. I had Easter cookie cutters and various. And that same boyfriend, he had a pit bull fan page for the dogs, pit bulls, and he had a mug. And I was like, I'm going to throw that up on Amazon and see what happens. And it started making a few $100s a month, like from the very first mug. So it's like, let me see if I can try another one. And they just kept on adding more and more and more. So I just kept putting like each one, many of them would do well. So I'd add more, not all of them, but enough that it was really worth my time, especially given how easy it was.
Wow. So you managed to get some early success going, like straight away. I guess that's really, really helpful, because I know for me, when I'd made my third sale online, and we're talking a long time ago, this is way back in 1999, and this was as an affiliate. But when I'd made my third sale, I knew this is not just an accident. This is repeatable. Different people from different locations are buying something. Therefore, I'm just gonna just stay up all night and just work on this and just scale those sales up, because this is real money. This is not just a computer game, you know. Did it feel a little bit like that for you?
Does it feel like a computer
Well,
game?
a little bit like a
I
game. Did you feel like like when did that confidence come through? Put it that way. When you knew that this will be something that you could replicate, or you can scale it, not just this is the only instance where these sales are going to come.
It's a good question. I remember I thought like maybe I just got lucky with the first one, and then I put more and more. And then I think even then I was like, because I had done Kindle before that, and I would have Kindle books that would do well for a while, and then they wouldn't. So it's like, I don't know how, but this has been since 2016 now, and it was working for years, and I was telling people about it, and they were like, no, you sounds like you really have something. So I guess a couple years in, I was like, for sure. Well, no, I knew I would say when I had less mugs that I was going to make money with them. I didn't know how consistent it was going to be for a long time to come until a couple of years.
Yeah, because I think some people, when they start with this kind of a model, and not necessarily the same as yours, as we're going to allude to, but when they start, if they don't get that early sale, they give up quite quickly. And so in a way, you're fortunate that you did get that early sale, but I bet that you've, like, having seen some of your material before, you've had students that maybe their first sale isn't the very first thing they put up, but because
Right.
you teach people how to rapidly put up a lot of products, and it's not costing them anything extra to put up more of them, they do have that early success, because I guess in some ways, as long as they are following a system to pick what might work out quite well, the law of averages are, I guess, if you throw up a lot of products, you're going to make sales.
Absolutely. Yeah, exactly. And I even kind of say, like, just expect to fail 98% of the time, because if you go in with that, then if you don't hit a winner in the first couple, that's cool, right? But eventually, it's like a numbers game. And when you have the system, the numbers get in your favor more.
Yeah, I've seen that in many industries. Like even in affiliate marketing, sometimes for someone's ad campaigns, we say, like, expect 9 out of 10 to fail, but the one that succeeds is going to more than pay for the other 9 that didn't succeed, because you just keep running ads through that one that succeeded. But in all reality, as people get better at this stuff, it's actually not 98 out of 100 that fail. It's a lot less than that. It's just that it's not a bad thing to say, because of the fact that if the worst came to the worst, and that's what it was, then those 2 out of each 100 are more than paying for the other 98. You know, the time that it took to put those up there, which might be, I don't know, you might be putting up 10 a day, depending on how much time people have. And you like using automation and tools. Like I mean, you use tools that automatically put, let's say you want to list a product, it puts it on Amazon, it puts it on eBay, and it puts it on Etsy, all in one bang. So you're not spending hours and hours of time putting it in one place, then on another place, then another place. How important has it been for you to automate as many processes as you can, so that you can get more products online faster?
I mean, it's really big. I don't know that I definitely don't think I could have grown to what it is now without having automated and, systemized things, being able to just make super simple designs, pressing the upload button, and then having things kind of like, so after a customer would purchase the mug, have it sent to fulfillment center, have it made all the things or whatever product, just makes it way easier, because I don't actually spend that much time on this business. Like, I love it, but I do so many other things. So I need it systemization for sure.
So you're saying, though, it doesn't just, there are tools that don't just list it on all these places. You use your software will also, how do I say it? It will also ensure the product gets to the customer. So let's say I was to list a glass mug that had engraved in it, say, I don't know, my local city name, like, because I'm a fan of that city or something. I'm just making something up here. or let's say it was dogs, and I'm a fan, I'm, a dog lover, and it had a picture of a dog engraved in there. You're saying that um, it's automated the entire fulfillment and creation. So if somebody orders that mug, let's say they order it for $15, and let's say the place that prints it for 10 and ships it, it automates all of that, and I just receive my part, and all of those other
Yeah.
parts involved are paid for, so you don't have to worry about it.
Exactly, whatever. So it depends on the company you're working with. So if they have a glass mug in this instance, then yeah, it's awesome. So you just put your design on top of it, and then after your customer orders, everything in the background is just handled. The customer gets a tracking number, and it's just keep it moving.
Yeah, it's amazing. And what are your thoughts? Like, you've been developing tools and so forth that make things so much faster and easier. What are your thoughts about artificial intelligence and how that's helped, I guess, either speed things up and or increase the quality?
Oh my gosh, it's outrageous. Some of these designs that AI has been coming up with, some of these sayings, they're so good. They use like just phenomenal, phenomenal work. And then it's making things just so easy, less complicated. You're able to get more designs out faster. It's been really cool. I've been astonished at just how much easier it can make. But the cool thing is with AI, like people still want the physical items. So you can still sell mugs and things like this. You just have more designs that you can sell.
Yeah, absolutely. It helps that creativity, doesn't it? And it's not just the design, but even from the words point of view, it comes up with sayings that you may not have thought of, and it's already got in its database all of the top selling mugs and so forth from, from since forever. Like if there was, you've got an idea for something to do with dogs and coffee, it'll already know what all the best selling ones have been, but it'll show you what those are, so you won't use those designs, but then it'll give you suggestions for completely unique phrases and so forth, which I think is a big time saver for a lot of people if they want to get into sort of a niche that's it's not copyright. Dogs and coffee and all that, they're not copyright, but they are well loved by people, and there are a lot of instances out there where there are things like that. I guess just like you did with your pit bull and stuff, sometimes a local sports team, they may have their own branded thing that you can't do, but everyone knows, say, that the pit bull or something is associated with that team, and you could still do stuff to do with pit bulls. That side of it's not copyright. Has copyright stuff been an issue out of interest?
So I usually tell people, like, if you're operating out of integrity, it's not going to be a big deal. Now, there may be times when accidentally, I have probably 10, 20,000, no, more than 20,000 items now because they're so quick to create, especially when you talk about AI and stuff like this. And
Yeah.
maybe a handful of times I've gotten like a, hey, someone else has this saying, and then they take it down. Now, as long as someone's not going out of their way to copy other people, it's
Hmm.
not an issue, I would say.
Yeah,
And there are tools too that people can use to
to
check
double
and
check
make
all
sure.
of the stuff. That's yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. No, that's pretty amazing. Um, okay, so um, out of interest, what do you think is better? Do you find it better to go after, I guess, the more expensive clients, like list products that are sell for a bit more, or do you think it's better to, I guess, go for a lower priced when it comes to what your focus is on putting all these products out there?
Yeah. So if someone's competing for like the general phrases that are low priced, they're never going to win. Like, because some of these people are getting huge amounts of mugs from China or something. They're not, it's just not going to work. So, generally, what I find works the best is when you go into these niche markets. So, like I said, pit bulls, right? So, if you have a mug for pit bulls or pit bull moms, pit bull dads, then you can charge a lot more. You have a lot more. And I was just like, my sister, for example, she loves penguins, right?
Yeah.
So, I was in her, she had a surgery a couple weeks ago. I was in her room, and while I was there, I was like, I'm going to count how many penguins are in this room. She had 27 different penguin products. So
Wow.
when you have these people that are interested in these niches,
Yeah.
they'll buy everything. They're happy to pay a little more. So that's kind of how I go about it.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not surprised, I guess. I thought I would double check on that though. But because when you think about it, when you're really into something, and there's only so much space in your house for stuff, you want that thing to be really, really cool. Like, you don't want the cheap thing. You want the cool thing. Or if you want to buy a present for somebody, you want it to be a nice present. You don't want to like spend $10 on the present and have it be the cheapest thing. If you're really thinking about something, you probably want the $40 thing anyway. I know that a lot of cheap items sell. I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying that, especially when you get more niched, those people that are really into that niche and there's not that much options out there, they'll often go for the best thing, the thing they fall in love with when they go to buy it, and that might have a higher margin for you anyway. And isn't it better to make like 4 sales to make your money than have to make 40 sales at a real low price to make the same amount?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just seeing behind me this. I'm going to grab it down, actually. Yeah. All right. I got given this as a present example. Okay. I'm into cricket. Okay. I'm into cricket. This is, I mean, I'm not into whatever this, I don't even know what creature this is, but whatever this type of creature is, I'm a marsupial or something. I'm not, but it's done so well. I mean, it's such a cool item to have, and someone got it for me as a present, and it's pretty awesome. I'm into the sport cricket, right? These sort of things, like that's just an example. I mean, it's not exactly a label print on demand, but it's just an example of that quality. Quality stuff can sell well. Of course, that might be in the too hard basket getting started for somebody to have a custom mold and a print. They might move to that later, but you could prove the concept on a t-shirt. You could prove the concept on a phone cover. You could prove the concept, in all sorts of different ways. What are some of your favorite types of items? And I know that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of them, might even be hundreds, but maybe if you could just rattle off a few, this is just get some people's wheels spinning.
Just to sell, types of products to sell.
Yeah.
There's even thousands at this point of things, but mugs are my number one seller. Ornaments, candles, t-shirts, people like jewelry a lot, doormats. I mean, it's just endless. Baby blankets.
Yep. Baby blankets, it's not entirely surprising either, because I've got a 2-year-old, so I mean, she's not 2 yet, but I know like those sort of things. That's awesome.
Pillowcases, it's really cool.
Yeah.
Pillowcases for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, you talk. Sorry.
Oh no, there's just like so many things. And to your point about your Cricut gifts, like these make such thoughtful gifts. So someone will go on Amazon or Etsy or eBay or whatever, and they'll do a search like funny Cricut gift. And then these kind of things come up, and it just makes it so easy.
Yeah. And when people think mugs, I guess they think, oh, wait a minute, I'm going to reach over, I'm going to grab one. They probably think this kind of mug, right, is what a lot of people think. But I've seen what you do. There's so many other kinds of mugs. This is one type. And if you really want to think about it, like there are sports mugs that are like this big, that are see-through. There are ones made of glass. There are ones made of stainless steel. There are ones made of copper. There are latte ones. There are soup mugs that are, like in a soup shape. There are just so many. I'll just quit my Skype there because it's making dings. But there are just so many different types of mugs. I just want people to just be aware of that, because it's what you picture as the standard may not be what is making tons of sales. So that's I guess one of the reasons why people might want to join the workshop, so people can start to see a little bit more of the matrix of what Rachel Raffae does. Can you please give people some good reasons why they might want to join you for the workshop coming up?
Yeah. So speaking of like seeing what is working, I give some examples in the workshop of exactly what's selling, exactly how many they sold. So people get like real world examples of what's working. We go over just like the whole system on how to pretty easily, I would say, find really great phrases, how to get them on products, sell them on sites like Amazon, Etsy, and eBay. Because the thing is, like with those sites, Amazon, Etsy, eBay, they've invested all this money to bring in customers. And so we get to just get in front of their customers. So you see the exact system, how to get on the front like page when people do searches and things. So yeah, lots of things.
That's awesome. And what would say be like one of your best months, say, like out of interest, so people know, oh, what's possible with this sort of stuff? Like, what would be one of your best months of sales?
Biggest months. I think so it's pretty much been at least five figures every month, I would say most months, if not all. Since 2016, I've been making at least five figures. And then every Christmas, I had, I think, $154,000 month one year. I don't remember how much I did this year. I'm not sure, but it was high. It's usually six figures each month during Christmas, and
Six
then
figures a
five
month during
figures for the
Christmas.
other months.
That's fantastic. And when you say that, is that sales or is that margin? Is that in profits? And if it's in sales, what is a margin that you look for?
That's a great point. So yeah, it's total sales, and actually inside the workshop, I go over the entire profit breakdowns that people can expect.
Oh,
So the
fantastic.
thing is, depending on like the products, you can change different prices and stuff. So it's hard for maybe like 30 to 50%, depending on what the product is, I would say.
That
But the
makes
cool
sense.
thing is, like, you list these products and then they're just hands off like assets that are just there, right? Like mini income streams, right? They're just out there, and then you don't really have to do much to them ever again. So it's
That's so awesome. Isn't it amazing that you can be selling a whole ton of items and never even see most of those items because they just get printed on demand if someone bought it. Um,
exactly.
and this isn't standard print on demand. You've got, like I say, you've got your own method, like the traffic sources, where you automatically selling them on. They're not even on your own website. You're not even. I mean, I know that you may have a Shopify store. I'm not sure, but that's not really the majority of what you do. And your whole focus is all your students. They're selling off other people's stores. They're not even selling on their own stores, so they're just automatically listing on someone else's store, letting them do a lot of the heavy lifting.
The whole thing is, like I said, Amazon, ABI, like these places have spent so much money bringing in new customers. So why should we reinvent the wheel and try to learn traffic strategies and all this? Just go where the money is. Like, go, literally, they're buyer search engines, right? Someone's typing in, I want to buy a funny knitting mug. We give it to them and we're on the way. Like, we
Yeah,
don't need to convince anyone anything. I just want to keep it as simple as possible.
yeah, no, that's awesome. And what about trending stuff? Do you like do your students or do you kind of look at say, oh, that's a new trend that's just popped up. Let's make a bunch of stuff because people will likely be searching for that stuff soon, or is more the focus on evergreen? Like, let's think of stuff that's always going to be pretty cool. Like I said, like dogs and coffee or something like just stuff that's it's been there for years. It may not be well served, it might be underserved, but that it's not just around for a short time.
Yeah, I would say both. I generally don't put as much time into this business, even though I love it. I do a lot of evergreen. However, when I've put time into trending things, I've seen some incredible results. I've seen students have incredible results. Even there was some special like solar eclipse a couple of years ago. And I remember so many sales from that during the political, like the elections and stuff. Can you imagine? People just tons and tons of sales. So you could really do both. It just depends. Like evergreen will sell for like holidays and birthdays and just because, but trending, I remember when we first started teaching the system to people, someone made, I think, 10,000 sales in 2 days off a phrase that a politician said on TV.
Wow.
And it was just,
that,
yeah,
that that's
yeah.
it is
So
awesome that you can just jump on that so fast, especially with a good
exactly.
they already know what they're doing. They've already listed products. They could just jump on it and hear it, and bam, it's out there and turn it into something. Um, yeah, and I guess that's another type of niche, like movements, or a catchphrase that just suddenly took off, or I mean, that's not trademarked because it just took off. I mean, I think that's pretty awesome, and people are going to get lots of ideas by turning up to the workshop. They're going to see how the system works, where the traffic comes from. You're going to see demonstrations of some pretty amazing tools and more. Have you got anything else? Like, what's one more tip that you would give anyone that was considering joining, not just joining this workshop, but that was just considering this whole model in the first place?
Well, I would say like to not overcomplicate it. A lot of times people see the system and they don't think that it can actually be that easy. And that's like the biggest downfall that people have is they think it's gotta be harder. And then they like it really,
you really do want to keep things simple. So when I say simple designs, simple products, like just keep it easy, that's where the sales get made.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And while my particular models of things, and I do make sales of items on eBay and so forth, but most of my stuff is obviously, as you know, I've been dealing in affiliate marketing and stuff, but the same principle applies. I mean, some things that I've set up and put out there on websites, still get checks, not checks, but um I get payments for even today, things that sometimes you forget that you even put it out there. And I think your model's kind of similar. Like you could list something and it might be something that kind of fails, it doesn't do well, and it only makes one sale a year. But that one sale is still paying you. And if you have 100 products making you one sale a year, that's another 100 sales. And then if you've got obviously a bunch that's doing maybe 2 sales a day, and those ones add up too. It's really hard to turn the sales off um it's kind of like throwing darts at a darts board. Even if you're not very skilled, a certain number of those darts are going to hit that dart board and going to score you points. And it's kind of like that here, and some will hit a bullseye.
Exactly. Yeah.
um and just sorry, one last thing, I just want to know, how did it change your life, your family's life, and what did people think of it when you started doing well with this stuff?
Oh my gosh. Well, I said in the beginning how I was just saying back when I started this, I'm a mechanical drone. I'm a mechanical drone. I was hating what I was doing. And now I just feel I have so much freedom in my life, which is amazing. I'm able to pay for my nephew's private school. He's actually here right now if you
Oh,
and like yeah, like just travel and be able to give my family like surprise checks, like go spend this. The only rule is you have to blow it, or like just give to charities. And there's all kinds of things. It's just freedom, I would say, is the bottom line. Freedom to make decisions, do what I want.
no, that's awesome. And I have been talking to some of your students as well who've had phenomenal success, and people will get to hear from them also when I release other videos about this as well. But guys, if you are interested in this model at all, if you have any inkling that you would like the idea of selling physical products using automated tools, not even on your own website, and being able to do what Rachel does, being able to have just hundreds of mini income streams, dozens, hundreds, maybe even thousands, like Rachel does, of mini income streams coming in for you, then join us for the workshop and see whether or not this is for you. Thanks so much for your time, Rachel. You've been absolutely amazing and inspiring, and I loved hearing from you. So thanks very much.
Oh, thank you.
And for everyone else out there watching, take action with what you learn, and hope to see you on the workshop. All right, bye for now, everybody.